I once endured 12 years of absurd and hopeless life in endless darkness. In my youthful ignorance, I was blindly obsessed with a false love, mistaking hypocrisy for sincerity and vanity for destiny. For Gu Chusheng alone, I abandoned my family, left my hometown, endured endless public criticism, and suffered countless grievances. I once believed that devotion across thousands of miles would win lifelong companionship, that unconditional tolerance could warm a cold heart, and that youthful obsession could overcome all worldly storms and schemes. Yet, in the end, what I gained was not peaceful years and faithful love, but betrayal, abandonment, reputation ruin, and lonely death. On my dying day, lying in a desolate rural courtyard, I witnessed the utmost coldness of humanity and the vanity of romantic affection. I finally woke up to the truth. My greatest mistake in life was never willfulness, but devoting all my integrity, sincerity, and tenderness to someone unworthy. If I were granted another life, I would never crave vanity, chase false affection, or betray loyal ministers and my country. This was my only obsession before death, and the most merciful gift bestowed by fate. Opening my eyes again, time retreated, and I returned to the age of 15. All tragedies were yet to unfold, all tragic endings unwritten. My father and brothers were safe and sound, and the loyal Wei family still stood steadfast. I had not yet embarked on that wrong love that consumed half my life. Fate gave me a second chance, not to repeat my mistakes and fall into emotional bondage again, but to rid myself of ignorance and naivety, uphold justice for loyal souls, repay the kindness of my country, and live a life worthy of my heart and the mountains and rivers. In my past life, I was an ordinary woman trapped in love and boudoir trivialities. As the legitimate daughter of the General Chu family, I was skilled in martial arts and military strategies. Born to hold sharp weapons and embrace the world, yet I was confined by trivial romantic love. I indulged in Gu Chusheng's gentle demeanor and admired his youthful fame, defying my parents' persuasion, worldly judgment, and status gaps to devote myself wholeheartedly. I thought my lover was noble and time would be kind, but I never knew the cruelty of human nature and the treachery of officialdom. The most sincere love is often uncherished, while the coldest heart sees all glory and gain. For power, fame, and stability, he abandoned, betrayed and wounded me without hesitation, trampling my 12 years of devotion into dust and turning me into the biggest joke in the capital. My past life ended in utter defeat. I not only wasted half my life, but also witnessed countless worldly tragedies. The Wei family had guarded the border for generations, loyal and devoted to the country. The family men fought bloody battles on the battlefield to defend the nation, yet they were falsely accused of treason. Their entire family wronged, their bones scattered, and their names defamed for generations. I watched loyal ministers fall, the country fall into turmoil, villains prosper and justice be buried, powerless to change anything. In that moment, I thoroughly understood that romantic love is trivial and insignificant. The integrity of loyal ministers, the peace of mountains and rivers, and the righteousness of the nation are the inherent responsibility and destiny of a daughter of a military family. Reborn anew, I completely cast off youthful foolishness and severed all illusory romantic obsessions. Faced with Gu Chusheng's deliberate gentleness, false affection, and calculated kindness, my heart remained utterly indifferent. What he craved was smooth official progress, fame, and universal admiration. While I had long seen through his egoism and coldness, never again moved by his superficial tenderness or fleeting vanity. In this life, I would never humble myself for love, cling to obsession, or consume myself for others. My heart was no longer confined to a courtyard or a single person, but dedicated to the world, national righteousness, and loyal justice. Everyone thought my red cloak marriage into the Wei family was impulsive, forced, and self-destructive. Only I knew clearly that this marriage, unconnected with romance or worldly matching, was a deliberate and unwavering choice, the firmest and most regretless devotion of my life. At that time, the Wei family was trapped in political turmoil, feared by the emperor and framed by treacherous ministers, facing imminent collapse. A loyal family that had guarded the country and protected the people for generations deserved no such unjust ruin and eternal disgrace. As the legitimate daughter of the Chu family and the elder sister-in-law of the Wei family, I resolutely stepped into the stormy Wei mansion. The world criticized, ridiculed, and misunderstood me, saying I abandoned a good marriage to fall into danger and mud. Yet my heart was clear in judgment and choice. I married into the Wei family to protect this loyal clan, uncover the truth of the past injustice, clear their eternal defamation, and preserve the last sincerity and justice in the turbulent world. I was willing to trade my boudoir glory for the family's innocence, use my humble strength to block countless political storms, and dedicate my remaining years to defending loyal integrity and national peace. In the early days of entering the Wei family, the situation was extremely harsh. Imperial suspicion, political pressure, treacherous ministers lurking everywhere, and internal turmoil plunged the mansion into constant panic. As a young new bride with unestablished reputation, I had to maneuver through political power struggles, resist imperial suspicion and treacherous schemes, rectify internal chaos, stabilize the family's morale, and protect the young Wei Yun. At that time, Wei Yun was still youthful and immature, bearing the family's glory and endless crisis, forbearing and deep-minded. Cold and aloof on the surface, he possessed extraordinary courage and sincerity in his heart. The world saw him as the future hope of the Wei military family, but no one knew he had long shouldered the family's honor, disgrace, life and death alone in countless silent nights. At first, I treated Wei Yun only with the responsibility and protection of an elder sister-in-law. Abiding strictly by etiquette and identity, I safeguarded his safety, guided his maturity, and helped him grow, hoping he would survive the storms, shed his youthfulness, inherit the family's responsibility, and uphold loyal integrity. I never crossed boundaries or harbored extravagant thoughts, only sheltered and supported him sincerely. Yet daily companionship and long-term mutual dependence nurtured a profound affection that transcended etiquette, worldly conventions, and identity barriers. Wei Yun's love is the most forbearing, sincere, and everlasting affection in the world. Young, weathered, and well-acquainted with human treachery and worldly coldness, he reserved all his tenderness, exclusive preference, and unreserved devotion solely for me. He understood all my sobriety and restraint, perseverance and forbearance, and helplessness. He knew the courage behind my red cloak marriage, the regrets and obsessions of my past life, and the softness and exhaustion beneath my tough armor. The world only saw my decisiveness, wisdom, and calmness, while only he witnessed my sleepless exhaustion, lonely perseverance, and righteous forbearance. Our affection germinated in turbulent times, grew from national righteousness, matured through daily companionship, and fulfilled itself through mutual redemption. Once I believed all love was illusory and burdensome, sealing my heart and refusing to trust sincerity after the betrayal of my past life. It was Wei Yun who melted the ice in my heart, healed the scars of half my life, and redeemed the desolation of my past. He never confined me with worldly etiquette or boudoir rules. He respected my vision of mountains and rivers, admired my loyal integrity, and cherished my sincerity and kindness. He allowed me to wield my edge, roam freely, and uphold righteousness, becoming my firmest backing, safest harbor, and most certain destination. I have seen the coldest human hearts and encountered the sincerest love in the world. What Gu Chusheng gave me was youthful vanity, lifelong betrayal, mortal injury, and total defeat. What Wei Yun gave me was peace in turbulent times, lifelong companionship, life and death solidarity, and testimony of mountains and rivers. He accompanied me through storms when I was reborn in despair, comforted my exhaustion when I endured heavy burdens, and stood side by side with me when I upheld righteousness. We overcame worldly criticism, etiquette shackles, identity estrangement, and political storms, evolving from disciplined sister-in-law and brother to soul-dependent lovers, from responsible companions to faithful lifelong devotion. Amid turbulent times, treacherous officialdom, and successive crises, Wei Yun and I fought side by side and safeguarded the country together. As a woman, I strategized meticulously, maneuvered through power struggles, outwitted treacherous ministers, and clarified political chaos, stabilizing internal order and defining the overall situation of the court while adhering to original aspirations in troubled times. As a young man, he donned armor to garrison the border, fought on the battlefield, made decisive judgments, and protected the people, establishing military integrity, calming national turmoil, and creating vitality in despair. We were each other's most tacit comrades, firmest reliance, and deepest destination. I defended the Wei family's innocence, and he guarded the country's peace. I resolved political dilemmas, and he quelled worldly storms. The most fortunate choice of my life was to sever illusory affection, uphold righteousness, protect loyal ministers, and meet Wei Yun after rebirth. Without this second chance, I would have remained a foolish woman trapped in love, missing the vastness of mountains and rivers, the sincerity of humanity, and the only true lover in my life. In my past life, I betrayed national righteousness for one person. In this life, I gained lifelong perfection for the sake of mountains and rivers. Fate's reincarnation holds profound meaning. All past regrets and debts are eventually fulfilled after rebirth, and all unjust grievances of loyal ministers are eventually redressed through perseverance. I have always clung to my original aspiration. Rebirth is not for romantic perfection, but for living up to the country, loyal ministers, and my own heart. Traveling through the court in countless storms, fearing no power or death, I strove solely to uncover the truth of the old injustice and clear the eternal defamation of the loyal Wei family. Having witnessed official darkness, human treachery, power struggles, and fratricidal strife, I still preserved my inner sincerity, national righteousness, and worldly justice. I always believed that justice may be delayed, but never absent. Loyal ministers may be wronged, but their integrity never fades. Tempered by years and storms, I have long shed youthful immaturity and romantic obsession, growing into an independent, open-minded, and country-minded woman of the military family. No longer a boudoir woman dependent on others and confined to inner chambers, I am now able to wield swords to defend my family, strategize to protect the country, shoulder great righteousness, and face storms fearlessly. My life no longer lives for others, compromising for love, yielding to the world, or retreating from power. I live solely for my conscience, justice, mountains and rivers, and all living beings. Skilled in both literature and martial arts, wise and courageous, I possess both feminine tenderness and general fortitude, achieving self-redemption and becoming the backbone of mountains and rivers in turbulent times. The world always claims that my affection with Wei Yun violates etiquette, defies conventions, and cannot be tolerated by the world. Yet in turbulent times, worldly rules are the most insignificant thing, while sincere companionship and shared righteousness are the most precious. Our love has no connection with indulgent romance, originating from mutual admiration of integrity, loyal alignment of souls, and lifelong dedication to national unity. He respects my heroic integrity, and I cherish his patriotic loyalty. He guards my lifelong peace, and I accompany him through endless mountains and rivers. We need no worldly recognition or etiquette fulfillment, only mutual sincerity, unwavering original aspiration, faithful righteousness, and devoted love for our country and land. Wei Yun is the greatest redemption, warmest tenderness, and most complete destination after my rebirth. He has witnessed my most resolute and decisive moments, as well as my most exhausted, vulnerable, and lonely sides. He accompanied me through the darkest, most turbulent, and precarious years, and ushered in the peaceful and prosperous era side by side with me. He understands the hardships of my heavy burdens, appreciates my broad vision for the country, and cherishes my restrained and gentle heart. He never demands my docility or confines me to inner chambers, always supporting me in adhering to my original heart, upholding righteousness, and roaming freely under the sky. I once thought my remaining years would consist only of atonement and perseverance, upholding national righteousness alone with no more romantic tenderness or worldly perfection. Yet Wei Yun's appearance taught me that righteousness and affection are never contradictory, that loyalty to the country and intimate love can coexist. Those who embrace mountains and rivers deserve lifelong tenderness. Those who bear heavy burdens deserve exclusive worldly affection. He allowed me to lay down my armor, accept tenderness, believe in sincerity, and embrace perfection while adhering to justice and guarding the country. After countless storms, life and death trials, and sufferings, I finally fulfilled my long-cherished wish. The Wei family's injustice was redressed nationwide, loyal integrity was passed down through generations, treacherous ministers were punished, the court was purified, the country stabilized, and the people lived in peace. All regrets, debts, pains, and despairs of my past life were soothed by the perseverance, companionship, redemption, and perfection of this life. I washed away my past ignorance, preserved my present original heart, living up to my father and brothers, the Wei family, the country, the people, and the young general who loved and guarded me wholeheartedly. The mountains and rivers stretch endlessly, storms fade with time, and the remaining years hold lifelong companionship. Wei Yun and I began with lonely courage in troubled times, grew from mutual admiration of integrity, stayed faithful through shared national righteousness, and achieved peace in prosperous times. Once I shouldered the responsibility of mountains and rivers and walked alone through turbulent times, now I warm my life with deep affection and rest peacefully with my lover upon the rivers and mountains. The true meaning of mountain river pillow is not the grand illusion of taking mountains and rivers as pillows, but the certain perfection of walking side by side with beloved ones, guarding years together, living and dying as one, and never parting through endless time. This life holds no regrets, and rebirth is worthwhile. I cast off illusory romantic obsessions, shouldered the national responsibility of a military family, met the most sincere lover, and preserved the purest justice. With a heroic feminine spirit, I defended the innocence of loyal ministers. With my remaining years, I accompanied the mountains and rivers to eternal prosperity. For the rest of my life, the country is safe, the world is peaceful, my lover is by my side, and years are gentle. I, Chu Yu, live openly and sincerely, persevering faithfully and achieving complete perfection, worthy of rebirth, mountains and rivers, deep affection, and my original heart.